Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we cannot go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode number 205. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for Rated G, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/RatedG4Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan. The Chiefs finally won the Super Bowl yet again. Robinson.
I want to say what's going on, man, but you say yet again. They haven't won in like 50 years.
Well, they still won. That doesn't you don't take the win away. It's just been a while.
You act like they're the Patriots. Like yet again, they win again.
Well, I mean, for a second time, this is not their first win.
It's like, hey, they haven't won one since.
Still counts. Still counts whether it's Super Bowl 1 or Super Bowl 40.
It's like 1970.
Yeah. They won maybe the third or the fourth one.
This is the fourth one.
Yeah, they won the fourth one.
Yeah.
The Green Bay won the first couple.
Yeah, so there you go. Mm-hmm. Well, congratulations to Kansas City Chiefs of Missouri.
Well-deserved victory. Oh, yeah.
Not Kansas.
Uh-huh.
But you know what? Everybody of Kansas can share and enjoy as well.
I mean, I suppose. I think that city borders both states. I think that's where the confusion comes in.
Well, there actually is a Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah, no, I think it's the same. I think it's like right on the border.
Well, then you know what?
Yeah.
Then you know Missouri and Kansas both celebrating a Super Bowl victory that they haven't had in 50 years.
Yeah, I know. They're Super Bowl adjacent. Super Bowl whenever adjacent.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like every time the Devils win the Stanley Cup, everybody in New York goes crazy.
Yeah, even though we have two hockey teams.
The Rangers haven't been to the promised land since I was in public school.
Well, they won in '94. They
Yeah.
made it to the playoffs a handful of times in the
and they made it to the
2010s?
and they made it to the Stanley Cup Finals a couple of years ago.
In the early 2010s,
lost.
I think. Yeah. Yeah, so
But they made it to the Stanley Cup like 3 years ago.
Sure.
3 years ago.
But they didn't win, Dan.
No, they didn't win.
It's just like the Buffalo Bills keep going up against the Cowboys, and they lose. Nobody remembers the Bills. Everyone remembers the Cowboys.
That's true.
Nobody remembers the second place team. But
So, Super Bowl was good.
yeah, it was great.
Well, the second half of the Super Bowl was good.
I liked the whole bit of it. Well, second half was the most exciting part.
The second half was the most exciting part. You knew it was going to amp up. But I love the commercials, even though we talked about seeing the commercials ahead of time, which takes some of the luster away from it.
I went in fresh. I didn't see a single commercial ahead of time.
Okay. But the reason why I bring up the commercials, I really was digging the Disney Plus commercials with the Marvel series, right? You got the Wanda and the Vision.
Mm-hmm. WandaVision. Yeah.
WandaVision.
Specifically.
And then it was like a take on like the old 50s sitcoms.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like the Donna Reed show or something like that, which amazing. I would like to see where they take that.
And then Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Where Falcon was like throwing around the shield. Mm-hmm. So we got like teaser trailers for both shows. I think they're coming in the summer, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then Loki seems to be in jail again. Mm-hmm. Don't know what universe or we don't know what universe he's in. He's not in the main universe.
Right.
So definitely there's some room for crossover with that.
Oh, 100%. 100%. They're gonna integrate everything into the MCU, unlike what Netflix did with their stuff. Like, they kind of tangentially mentioned that stuff, but it wasn't really. It was in the universe technically, but there was no crossover.
I still would have loved to see like Captain America, like in like a Daredevil.
That would have been great. That would have been great.
Yeah, or like a Luke Cage, like see Daredevil, or even Hawkeye. See, you know what? Give me somebody that don't have superpowers, like Hawkeye or Widow, right? And Luke Cage.
You can't go with the A-list MCUers because they're gonna cost a lot of money.
Well, that and Iron Man could just come in and like wipe everybody, wipe out the bag.
Also
in
true.
2 seconds.
Also true. You have to kind of. You have to work in the appropriate strength and power level.
I'm still holding out hope that the Netflix series will shift over to Disney Plus.
The Netflix, no, it's done.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
It's done.
I don't think so.
It's done.
It's done on Netflix. Yes.
It's way too much tied up, and I can almost guarantee that most of the actors are already onto other things and have signed contracts.
No.
And if that's the case,
some of them, I forgot who. I mean, it was like 6 months ago. Some of them teased, and we talked about it on the show. Somebody teased that it may not be dead forever.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, they said all that, but if any of those actors are onto other things, that kind of kills that universe.
It doesn't matter. Just like, all right, well,
it does, though.
No, it doesn't. Then all right,
you're just gonna get a second Jessica Jones in there and pretend.
No,
like
it doesn't matter. Hey,
notice.
if you got something going on, then all right, then we'll wait until that's done, and then you sign a contract, and we can get into production.
Listen. I wanted to, but it ain't happening.
Those actors,
it ain't happening.
Love to have a job, long-term job.
Well, I mean, considering how volatile their Netflix career was.
Well, they each at least had 2 seasons.
Yeah, some of them 3. Yeah, Daredevil and Jessica Jones got a 3rd season, which is nice, but we'll see.
I
would not make a bet on that.
I think there's some hope for the future. 2021. Well, we're gonna see at Comic-Con. This is where they make all the big announcements.
You're right.
They're gonna see all the Netflix guys come out at the end. It was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully.
Watch.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
We'll see.
All right.
But you know what is amazing? Mm-hmm. Follow-up to a story we did, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, when we talked about the Xbox. We saw the back of the prototype Xbox Series X.
The rumored back, which is pretty much like now confirmed.
Yeah. Well, it's the prototype. Remember, it was the prototype back, not the actual final version of it.
So it could be different.
It could be different. They can make some changes. I think we both like, we know that there's not going to be like a HDMI like import. So they're not going to put your cable box, make it a pass through.
Well,
I liked it.
The days of that is gone.
I liked it personally.
It was a nice feature, but
it only worked in my view when I had the Kinect, because it was just cool where I come in, I just tell Kinect to turn on, and it turns on everything. And then as soon as they took Cortana away from me, I had no reason to hook it up to.
And that's why you got to go third party. I have a Logitech thing that does that for everything, so I can turn everything on just with the voice, and it's not platform dependent. It's not OS dependent. As long as it has like IR or Bluetooth or like RF on there, I'll be able to like interact with it. So I can still turn all the stuff on and off, which is nice.
Well, just again, to follow up to the story where the prototype, there was this long connection in the back. This like long plug, and we're like, what could that be? Like, what could that be? And it looks like it could be for a CF Express card for external storage.
Yeah, so you put the story up, right, as like the follow up, and I'm like, nobody uses compact flash anymore because it's just way too big. And I'm like, why would they even look to use compact flash? Why not just like SD card or whatever? Turns out that the new CF Express spec is apparently like the best in town. Has the best throughput. Can do up to 2 gigs a second, which is very fast, although it is very expensive. That is the rub.
It's like 500 for 500 gigabytes. It's like $600.
Yep. So that would be less than the internal storage of the base model of the Series X, right? Because they're going to have at least 1 terabyte inside.
Yeah.
So if you want to expand it out at like one of the cheapest options, like 512 is how many games? Maybe 10? One maybe, yeah, maybe one.
Marvel's Avengers.
Jesus, yeah, right. One game is going to be
okay.
Like
Two games,
terabyte.
Halo and Marvel's Avengers.
Right. So that's like nothing, and it's the price of a console, if not more than the price of a console. It's just not going to fly.
You can get 2 Switch Lights.
Yeah.
And a DS.
2 Switch Lights and 2 DSs.
There you go.
Jeez. It I think because you had kind of said before the show that maybe they're just banking on the price to go down, because if every unit has this enabled, that kind of the market ends up growing, right? And there may be more people buying this, thus the price may start to go down.
Or here's a second theory. This is just a prototype, and they use the card for the prototypes. That's it. External storage for prototypes.
Yeah.
For the prototype. That's all. That's it.
Right. I mean,
they were when they were maybe experimenting, putting the box together.
Right.
They only use this port internally.
Well, the other thing is
because they have it just sitting around. I mean, they're a big company.
Right. The other thing is too is that they have USB 3 ports on there. Like we know that's happening, right? No matter what, there is no USB C, and even if there is USB C, it's great. It's still USB. You could hook up external hard drives, which are much cheaper.
You can get a 2 terabyte, definitely cheaper.
The thing that you're going to lose out on is the speed. So unless you need to have like this constant throughput, it needs to be at a certain range, which I don't know, maybe, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Our backup drive right here, this 6 gig backup drive is like 1/3 the price of what a CF card would be, and transfer speeds are good on USB 3. So
that's why I think this is just for the prototype that they were using. And they use that card internally for, whatever reason when they were going to experiment with the box.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be indicative of the final port. That's, on the final game, on the final system. So, Dave, you get any good pickups?
Did I get any good pickups?
Or should I say, did any of your good pickups actually ship to you and you get a chance to open and put in the collection?
Oh, boy. Well, good news and bad news. The bad news is, start with the bad news because it makes the good news that much better. I still don't have my Square Enix pickups from the holidays. you're gonna and if you're still gonna tell me, well, they take a while to get there, that's bull, because they should be here by now. I even sent them an email last week, and I got the requisite follow up. Oh, thank you for your inquiry. We'll get back to you soon. Still haven't heard back from them. Where is my stuff?
Well, you know what? Maybe because they still have a bunch of old games. Like PS1 games.
Yeah, and I bought
brand new, still sealed. They're still searching the warehouse for your ship, for your order.
Uh-huh.
They're like, we can't find this game. This is from 1995.
Well, we hit me up and say, hey, we can't find this anymore. I need to know. I need to know what's going on.
They're still looking. They know they have it.
So
they don't want to disappoint you.
That's annoying. But the pickup I did get was the nice little Wipeout chip from Totaku. Right? They do all the amiibo style figurines without any NFC chip inside. They're just there for show. They're $10 a pop.
You love Wipeout. That is one of your favorite.
Wipeout's great, man.
Is it would you be fair to say?
My favorite racing game, yes.
Well,
it's my favorite racing game series.
Top 5 series of all time to you.
Franchises?
Yeah.
Ooh, probably.
Well, we already know what number 1 is, that's
probably. Well, there's Final Fantasy, there's Metroid, there's Zelda, Wipeout's probably in there, and there's a 5th one.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, your top 4.
I never really gave it that much thought, other than the first 2, but yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean that you can get those things anywhere, but it was nice to see that one back in stock because I think that was part of the original set.
It was. They don't even have any of these real Kotaku figures. They're not making any more of those.
Right. So you got to get them all. Get them while the getting's good. And then there was a post online near our friend's place, and they hit me up and they were like, Dave, there's a whole big thing of stuff over here, and I'm gonna go by and see what's up for you. I said, you were the man, thank you. And he came back with a giant bag, a giant laundry bag filled with games.
Nice.
Full free from the street. So I'm gonna probably pick those up tonight, parse them out, and they will be up on the Instagram. They will be on the show next week. I'll kind of lay out. But yeah. So how about you? What have you been? What have you picked up recently?
I went a little Vita crazy. I have now officially over 100 Vita games and PSP games as well.
Congrats, Dan.
Thank you.
That's me with the golf clap right there. If you can hear that on the mic.
Well, thank you. I don't think. I got a lot of Vita games that I wanted already. Vita is really good with RPGs, and RPGs are still expensive.
Of course.
And RPGs aren't really my jam, so these games.
You're not going to play them; you just want them.
A lot of games I'm probably not going to pick up.
Yeah.
I mean, because they still hold their value. And again, these games that I'm not that much interested in. I mean, I get them for a good price. I'll pick it up and try it out.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to spend $70 on an RPG.
I know.
I'm not going to go crazy.
You want that Star Ocean game? You're definitely going to pay for it.
Yeah. No, not doing that. Mm-hmm. But I did pick up the Amazing Spider-Man, for Vita. Mm-hmm. Right. I don't think Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out for Vita. It came out for every other platform. Anything. The original did come out for Vita. I have that. And we'll talk about that in a minute. I have Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for the Vita.
Nice.
Had to get that. Mm-hmm. Had to get that. I love that fighting game, and I love having fighting games on the go. So I love having Mortal Kombat. Mm-hmm. It was I think that was like Mortal Kombat 9, where it was just Mortal Kombat. They didn't even put any numbers on it. I have that for the Vita.
Yep.
So love playing that. Spider-Man Edge of Time for the DS. Mm-hmm. That was just like one of the random Spider-Man games I didn't have in the collection. It came out for the other platforms too. Mm-hmm. But I found it good price. A little messed up, but you know what? Screw it.
Wait, it's for the DS, right?
Yeah.
It's a plastic clamshell.
I know, but the box.
How do people mess those up?
I don't know. Maybe the dog was chewing on it or something. Who knows?
Terrible.
Who knows?
I've had that happen with a couple of DVDs.
And I picked up a couple of GameCube games. I got Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2. And Metal Arms Glitch in the System.
Well, that game is great.
Yeah, all complete in box and good condition.
Mm-hmm. That is a hidden gem if I ever saw one.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Spawn Wave, he's going for like a complete GameCube collection. Like he's just in this series going for a complete GameCube collection. Picked it up, recommended it, so I thought I'll pick it up too. So
there you go.
So Lukey Games had it in stock.
There you go.
So, Dave, as we always try to start the show but epically fail, what have you been playing?
I have been back into Death Stranding.
You didn't beat it yet?
I didn't beat it yet. Well, if I didn't mention it on the show before, I'm going to mention it now. My quote-unquote new TV has been having some issues.
It's on the fritz.
Yeah, it's on the fritz, as I like to say. So I got to get a repairman out there for it, which is sad because it does the HDR and all that, and it looks so pretty. I decided to bring the other TV downstairs. Well, I mean, I kind of had to because there was a Super Bowl party going on. So I had to have a working TV. So there's like the working TV standing and then the other broken TV mounted on the wall. It's a sad state of affairs. So I haven't really been playing games that require the TV. Now that that's hooked up again, I'm getting back into Death Stranding. It still looks beautiful. Still in it. Still haven't beaten it yet. Yes. I play a little bit every now and again. So, yeah. I'm determined to beat it though, because I hear the end is bonkers.
Well, as soon as you get to the end, that's
it's a movie. Yeah. I gotta sit down with some popcorn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I've been playing the Amazing Spider-Man Ultimate Edition on a Wii U. Yes, still alternating between both discs, so it can actually work on a system.
Wow, dedication! I'll say that, and I will leave it at that.
I'm definitely towards the end, the latter part of the game, and it's just this one part is ridiculous because.
Because you have to keep swapping discs?
No. You swap this one time just for it to work.
All right.
But you beat all this tunnel full of enemies, like just a crap load of enemies. And then you get like into the room where you got all these robot enemies. It does not, the checkpoint is back to the beginning.
Oh my God.
Of the level. So
tough.
So if you lose when you got to face all these robot enemies, you have to go back, beat the hallway full of like 1,000 different enemies, and then go and hopefully try to strategize to beat the robot enemies.
I'm gonna ask this. I already know the answer. Are you playing on the easiest difficulty?
Medium.
Oh well, there's an avenue. It's an avenue to completion, Dan. I'm just saying. I would not fault you if you put it.
Oh well, listen.
I wouldn't do it. I'd be playing on hard right now.
You'd be playing on hard.
Right?
You still be on the second level.
No. I would have beaten the game by now.
You were so awesome.
But
Wait, are we in the year 2025? I mean, because it takes you like 5 years to beat a
Listen,
game.
I still beat it.
So I've been playing that, and I've been playing The Wonderful 101.
Have you?
Yes. Well, this game has been in the news, which we'll talk about later. So I had to start playing it to see see what the fuss is about.
Well, it was one of the only third-party games that didn't come out from Ubisoft and wasn't a Just Dance game. So it's a rare breed, and it's one of the really good games on the Wii U.
I got to be honest. My first impressions. I feel this is like Pikmin meets Dynasty Warriors.
Sure. Yeah.
It really is. And I'm playing with the Pro Controller, and I guess it's it's easier to control the little minions I guess like the other superhero characters if you're playing on a Wii U pad, on the gamepad.
Oh, because you can do all the touch stuff.
Because you can do all the touch stuff, right? Because there's one when you got to like go in a circular motion so you can turn like a big wheel, so you can like move a building or something. It's just so much easier if you do it on the gamepad.
Right.
But I don't want to play on a gamepad. I want to play with the Pro Controller.
You're making it more difficult than yourself.
I want to play with the Pro Controller.
I understand, but you're making it more difficult.
The game is easier, except when you get to those things where you got to like go in a circular motion.
I don't know what to tell you.
It's just stupid. I'm sorry. And I want to go back to Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah,
I have it with me. Like it's always with me.
Of course.
And I want to go back and play. Get a couple of rounds in. I think I unlocked everybody except for like maybe one or two like characters. Fire. Yeah, like
one or two. I think. Yeah.
Maybe like one or two Fire Emblem characters who I don't care about at all. I have to say. I just don't care about it.
Wait, you don't care about them because there's too many, or you don't care about them because you don't play the franchise?
Both. Both. So Zachariah actually was in the news, and he said he doesn't make the decisions. He just makes the characters that Nintendo puts in front of him.
Oh, I disagree.
You call it BS? You call it BS?
This is in response to too many Fire Emblem characters, which the fans are like, all right, we're good. Byleth, all right, fine. Stop it. We didn't even want Byleth because there's already so many great Fire Emblem characters. Sakurai does what Sakurai wants to do, right? He doesn't work for Nintendo directly. Like his company basically makes Smash, and that's what they do, and they're really good at it. They're not gonna jump in and say like, hey, the game needs to be this. They're gonna let Sakurai do what Sakurai wants to do. If he wants to put in Fire Emblem characters, he's gonna do it. I don't think he's gonna take outside. I don't know about hints, criticism. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't think he's going to take outside information to heart.
Here's my devil's advocate then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to play the other side.
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Three Houses came out when?
Last year.
Okay. So maybe Nintendo is like, look, Sakurai, you got to put. We want to promote the game. We want to keep both. We want to keep this game alive too. We want people to be excited about this game. Right, because it's mostly been, other than the first game, the first two games, this has really been a portable series, right? That's been on the DS and the 3DS, right? Not it wasn't on the Wii U.
Nope.
Yeah, it's not really heavy in their home consoles, so they want to promote it, and the best way to promote it is put it on one of their popular franchises. Zachariah, we want every Fire Emblem character.
You want to get the synergy.
crossover.
You want to get the crossover.
Yeah. So maybe they say, Zachariah, we want all of the Fire Emblem.
Well, he also loves the Fire Emblem series. He
does.
Like that's the other wrinkle in it.
Well,
he's a big fan.
Well, then he's not going to do any big pushback. He's going to be like, well, you know what?
Yeah.
All right.
I'll put this other character in there. Yeah. Come on now. Can we get a Spyro for the next reveal? That's all we want. Something different.
Activision.
Something different. Something. I don't know.
Can we put Crash Bandicoot in it then?
Sure.
If that's the case?
Sure. Something.
We got 5 more characters. I just want to know who the other 3. We got 6 more characters coming.
We have
6 in the next Fighters Pass.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to know.
Byleth, I think, was the last out of
the 5, the original 5. So we got 6 more. Just got to know what are the other 3 Fire Emblem characters coming. And then,
God damn it,
get them out the way.
God damn it,
just get them out the
1,
way.
2, and 3. I heard you like Petra. God, I heard you like Dedu. Damn it,
just get them out the way.
They're all sword characters.
Get them out the way, and then we can.
No, I can't, Dad.
And then we can actually speculate about Goku and Spyro and Crash.
Oh my God,
right?
I know.
Let's just get them all out the way at E3.
Ugh.
Here's the other half of that.
Terrible.
So, that, and I really want to get back. I want to finish Luigi's Mansion 3.
Mm-hmm.
I got like 4 more floors because like 12 floors, I think. I'm not.
Yep.
So,
Well,
I think
aren't they different mansions?
what's that? I mean, no.
Hotels?
You're in a hotel and you go on floor by floor. So each level is a floor.
Oh, I thought there was different hotels that were themed.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
The man who hasn't played the game, why couldn't there be different hotels?
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, they're themed, right? Every floor is themed.
Every floor is themed.
So why wouldn't it stand a theme? Or why wouldn't it stand that? Maybe it's a desert themed hotel.
Well, because this is a spooky game. Why would he be going to different hotels or mansions?
Because they're all spooky. They just have different themes behind them. Here's the pyramid one with the mummy. Here's the weird jungle one.
Resident Evil 1 wouldn't be scary if you had to jump from house to house.
You did go outside though. There were different environments. You did go outside.
That was outside the one spooky mansion.
I still don't see that being a bridge too far.
All right, Luigi's Mansion 4, you have to jump from mansion to mansion.
You can have more than one spooky house.
That all together where you have to travel?
Well, I don't know. Put them on I don't know. You put them on a street. Here's one hotel, and here's the next hotel. It's not out of the question.
Look, if you put me on a street with multiple spooky hotels, I'm just going to go to another avenue. I'm going to travel to a different boulevard. I'm going to get out of there. I'm not going to stay.
That's not how the game is structured, Dan. You're just going to sit there on the street and go, "No, I'm not going to go in these houses."
Listen, just like Far Cry 4? You just let Luigi sit there for like 10 minutes.
So how is it different than
10 minutes?
How is it different with a single hotel?
And then he just turns around and leaves.
Why don't you just walk out the door?
Because Mario was kidnapped. The whole friends are kidnapped.
All right,
and there's
so
somewhere
Princess Peach is kidnapped in the next one, and Toad is kidnapped in the next one.
Nah.
He's got there are more characters than just him and his brother.
Nah, once I unlock you go to the next mansion.
Oh my god.
All right, Toad. This is Toad's mansion.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
No. So there was everyone when the game first came out. I really loved the game. Mm-hmm. I really loved the game. Like, this is like top 10 games of last year.
Yeah. I have still yet to play it.
My personal list.
I have still yet to play it.
But everyone was kind of like worried. Everyone was wondering they wanted more like upgrades. Like, you wanted to be able to upgrade more. Mm-hmm. And Nintendo actually answered why there weren't like a lot of upgrades in the game.
Right.
And it's basically, and it's simple and it's kind of deep if you think about it.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't have upgrade or a skill tree because that's not Luigi. He's a reluctant hero. Mm-hmm. He has skills. He just lacks bravery. Mm-hmm. Right? Like you upgrade him by controlling him.
Right.
Right? By pushing him to do things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like kind of deep when you think about it.
Yeah.
The answer to it.
It's an interesting way to explain the game mechanics of the game. Yeah. I mean, I get behind that 100%. And to echo that too, I will say, from like a gameplay standpoint, they specifically said we're not going to do skill trees, right? We're gonna build the game out this way, right? And I know, like, we talked about it 2 years ago with God of War. They had this complex crafting system and all this other stuff that was added on top. All of it was unneeded, right? It was way too it was complex for the sake of being complex. And I feel like that game could have been better with some Luigi's Mansion style pullback, maybe not have branching skill trees and upgrade paths and all that stuff. Like, just lay it out. Here's what it is. Like, make it just a little bit more simple. So I don't know.
Well, it just makes me think if there was ever like a Mario Mansion. Mm-hmm. Mario's not a reluctant hero.
Right.
He's a brave guy. All right.
Sure.
He's not
That's
not
why
nervous.
Mario always gets captured and Luigi has to go save him.
Yeah. Well, if it was the other way around, then Mario would have a skill tree.
Possibly. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's take a break here, and when we come back, we get into the top gaming news of last week.
Hey, this is Matt Adler, freelance journalist for IGN, and you're listening to Rated G for Gamers podcast.
And we're back. Let's get into the top gaming news of last week. Let's start with some PC news. The PC Master Race are all up in arms.
That's right.
They're all going crazy.
That's right.
Everyone's upset. The world's coming to an end. And no surprise that Blizzard Activision or Activision Blizzard is at the center of the world coming to an end. They're the start of the PC zombie apocalypse. This is going to be Activision Blizzard.
Ugh.
Right?
It's terrible. Yeah, this is news coming out after Blizzard finally launched Warcraft 3 Reforged, which is the remaster of the original beloved Warcraft game in the same vein as the StarCraft remaster, with the exception of it not being so great. There were a lot of things that were wrong with the remaster.
Well, tell me what the backstory on this. Why I don't get it. I mean, I've never played any of the Warcraft games. I own them,
Right.
Because I found them for like
You get them in the battle chests and the whatever else, and they're amazing real-time strategy games. They were at the forefront of real-time strategy way back in the day with Warcraft, Orcs and Humans, right? Fast forward to 2002, 2003, when Warcraft 3 was launched, and that game was amazing. Everybody loved it, went head over heels. There's now 4 playable races as opposed to 2 in the previous games. They went full 3D. It was amazing, right? And that game is like held up high, and just like StarCraft is also held up high. It's basically the space version of Warcraft, but the gameplay is essentially the same. It's just in a different universe, right? And in 2018, Blizzard announced, and this was the infamous "you all have mobile phones" BlizzCon press conference, which they ended with. Warcraft 3 Reforged kicked it off, right? And fans are like, that's awesome, that's amazing, what else you got? And that's really all they had that year. And from what that trailer was to what the game is now, completely different. The UI is almost exactly the same as the original game, which is weird for like a 15-year-old game, at least 17-year-old game. The graphics are better, but you don't really notice them because you're so like zoomed out. The cinematics, which like looked wildly different in the 2018 demo, they're just straight top-down cinematics, just with the new game engine. They don't look that great. So that's like something that like fans are kind of really upset about. They didn't redo the cinematics, right? The actual like movie cinematics, I don't think. They kind of kept them pretty much the same. So it's like, all right, really the big thing that they did was the graphical overhaul, which you don't even really notice. The other thing that fans are really upset about is the end user license agreement, right? The thing that's like miles long and nobody reads. When you end up installing the game, one of the things that somebody noticed is that they own all of the custom created content. And this is the other thing that fans are in uproar about. And they did this for a specific reason, right? One big thing that came out of the original Warcraft 3 was the amazing tool set, the map builder. You could do all this cool stuff with. You could. It had a script builder in there, and you could do all this really cool custom stuff. So people made stuff more than just custom maps to go like head to head on. And one of those things was Dota, or Defense of the Ancients, which is...
Wait, that's what that stands for?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Dota is Defense of the Ancients.
I never knew what... It's always been Dota. I never knew what that stood for.
Right. Yeah. So it's Defense of the Ancients.
Okay.
They had one for StarCraft 2, the original StarCraft as well. That wasn't as successful, I don't think. Like, Dota kind of blew up. And it switched developer hands, or modder hands, like a bunch of times. And that's now owned by Valve. Mm-hmm. Right? Because, I guess partially because of their end-user license agreement, and they basically determined after going to court that it was transformative enough of a work to be its own thing, and Valve basically hired the guy who put it together, or who was the current maintainer, and said, hey, we want to build a team around this, we want to make Dota 2. So Dota 2 is a Valve product, and I think Blizzard had to make their own thing called Blizzard All-Stars. And then Now they have like Heroes of the Storm, which is their own thing with their own characters. Obviously, Dota wasn't able to maintain any of the lore, the characters, the backstory, the graphics, and all that stuff. But like the gameplay, that all went with. And I think Blizzard's trying to prevent another Dota situation, let that slip through the cracks. But fans are upset. And understandably so, right? You go make a really cool thing, you want to have some ownership of it, and zero ownership of it. There are some other issues, too, with, like, multiplayer connectivity. Matches are a little bit hard to get into. I don't think they have all the features of the original Warcraft 3. They removed some of the special rule sets and all that stuff. So they kind of killed some stuff that people love. And one final thing about this whole bit is that they were still supporting Warcraft 3 up until this point, because it's that good of a game and they have a community. When they put the new game out, you had to update the launcher client. So even if you want to play the original Warcraft 3, you have to download the update and you have to play through this thing, and then you basically just hit a toggle whether you want the new or the old experience. Which means that all the problems that are inherent in the new Warcraft have been inherited by the older version, and fans are also very upset about that. So I guess it was like they overpromised and underdelivered, which is the opposite of what you want to do. You always want to underpromise and overdeliver, and then everyone's like, wow, this is amazing. This is so much more than I expected, and everyone kind of loves it. So I think they kind of messed up a little bit. They've put out a statement saying why they did the things that they did.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
How can they fix it at this point?
Well, they are fixing it through patches, but the damage is done. The fan community is the fan community. They're going to say it's not enough. And
they're not going to change their terms of services, right? So whatever you make, they still own. Mm-hmm. They will still be the owners of.
That's right.
Okay.
What they can do is improve the gameplay, the animations, improve the UI, do all the stuff to the game to make it a better gameplay experience.
But they made the visuals better, which don't mean anything. You said, right?
They made those visuals better, but like the UI around it is basically the old UI, just with a better resolution.
But you would think they would upgrade the UI at least,
and they didn't.
That'd be, if we're gonna remaster a game, at least
make it like there's a lot of changes.
Make it modern. Make it a little more modern.
A lot of things have happened since 2003, right? Most notably, widescreen monitors are now standard.
We switched presidents 3 times.
We switched presidents. Yeah, exactly.
You can now take you can now take your Nintendo console on the go.
Right? Yeah. There's a lot of things that have happened. So there's a lot of issues going on.
Sega's no longer making
console
games.
And I may have gotten some of the finer details, but not necessarily 100%.
But the one thing still stands: the Knicks still suck.
The Knicks still suck. Yeah. Well, there you go.
One constant.
But Blizzard. What Blizzard can do is what they are doing. It's just going to be a very uphill battle, and this on top of Destiny leaving Activision was a big hit. Blizzard saying, "Hey, you all have mobile phones," was pretty bad. The issue with Blitzchung.
That was a PR nightmare.
Right, that was the whole esports thing that happened last year.
But they got one good set of news like this week. Mm-hmm. Rob Ferguson, formerly of the Coalition, Microsoft Studios, right?
Moved over to Activision, yeah.
To take over Diablo, the Diablo franchise.
Sure. And that's like kind of the ray of hope. Hopefully they do Diablo 4 right.
And Activision did say that they're going to put out more remasters of the console games.
Yeah, of course they are.
They're going to put out a crap load of remasters out.
Yeah, so it's just it's not a good look all around right now. I'm pretty sure their stock is down, but yeah, we'll see.
Well, we'll talk about stocks being down. Let's talk about Rockstar.
Oh my God!
Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser leaving the company.
Yep.
Now, this, to me, wasn't big news like right now, only because Dan Houser took a leave of absence after Red Dead 2 was launched. Mm-hmm. So he's been gone ever since the launch of Red Dead 2.
Sure, but nobody knew that he was necessarily like.
Well, the hope was he would come back,
Right.
But this is, official that he's not coming back. So he's already been gone. Just to, technically, he's been gone already.
Right.
He hasn't had his hand in anything.
Sure.
At least
it took a little bit of a sabbatical.
Yeah.
And the only thing to really come out was Red Dead Online, which they probably had a lot of that in place. There's a huge team, like Rockstar is a very huge company across the globe. So it was definitely in capable hands. But Sam and Dan, like they are Rockstar, and they've had their hands in every single one of the games that have come out from that company. So they're like, I don't want to say visionaries, but they certainly have a certain vision in mind. Well, and they always hit that vision.
Well, what could they be in development, right? I mean, definitely, I think there's a Bully 2 in development. A new Bully game, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, and we have definitely talked about it.
We've talked about that, right? They put out a casting call for voice actors for another like Bully type game. And GTA 6, 1,000% in development. 1,000%.
Yeah, because I mean, Red Dead 2 basically started right after Red Dead 1, and that was a 8-year development cycle, which is insane. So that was being developed along with GTA 5, right, which came out in 2013. It's been almost 10 years since the last GTA. I would agree. I think GTA.
Well,
definitely
they've been supporting with GTA Online ever since, and GTA is still like top selling game,
right,
every month,
right. And they wouldn't necessarily want to compete with themselves. So I agree that it's in production, but I don't think it's going to be out until
next gen.
Right, it's probably going to be next gen.
They want to do a splash for the next gen consoles.
Right, that and once they start seeing like the sales dipping for GTA Online, then they can say, well, let's do 6, and let's do the online component for 6 too, and they can make
6 may just be 6 may just be online.
It may just be all online. It's a possibility.
Who knows?
That is a strong possibility. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Listen, I hope Dan Houser takes as much time as he needs to recharge.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'll.
You think he's going to come back?
He will come back. The question isn't if, it's when, right? And I think take a couple of years off.
Well,
he certainly can afford it.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, no. He's good money-wise.
Come back when you have something you're passionate about and you want to see through, right? I mean, again,
you gotta
definitely
bring
a visionary.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll come back for at some point while next gen is about to kick off in high gear this year. Right. We know the PS5. I coined it. Hashtag Dan was right.
Coined it.
Hashtag Dan was right.
Coined it.
I did.
You guessed that it's gonna go from 4 to 5.
I knew it. I knew it, baby.
Any chance Dan gets to pat himself on the back for sure.
You know what?
Sure.
You know what? Just like Dan Houser, I'm a visionary.
Oh my god.
I saw it.
Oh my god.
I saw it. I saw it, baby. I had a vision. PS5. Right? You know how long it took him to come out with that logo?
Took him one board meeting and 2 seconds at the computer. That's how long.
There you go. So, with that said, everybody's going crazy. Well, everybody went crazy over the logo, right? The most likes in like Instagram history.
It's ridiculous.
Okay? And now the website is done. The website's up. Right, and it has coming soon. All will be revealed soon. I gotta say, this is all about nothing.
Well, considering that the rumor that they're gonna have a press conference and all that.
Well, the rumor was February 5th, which is already passed.
Well, right. I mean, I didn't hear about the 5th exactly, but they said February. There was no official word from Sony, so that's obviously not happening. So it's gonna be.
And then
it says they're not going to be at E3.
They're going to be at E3.
Now, they may still drop a bomb. They may do what Nintendo does.
We'll get a state of play right before E3 starts.
Right. Sony's going to do their own thing right around that time.
But not you know what, I don't think they'll do a state of play for the next console. I think that'll be a presentation. Probably at like the PlayStation Theater in Times Square.
Well, do something. Yeah. Use your own facilities. Like have a thing. State of play may not be enough. I think you're right.
The state of play, they'll probably have state of play talking about the games.
Right.
Probably around E3, not at E3, obviously.
But they don't want to pay the $10 million or whatever it is price tag to rent out the theater, set up all the stuff, get all wrapped up in that. They want to be a little bit away from
Guarantee you, if the PlayStation Theater was like across the street from the convention hall, they would say, we're still at E3.
That's why Microsoft is still doing it, or at least one of the reasons.
Because they have the Microsoft Theater, which is across the street.
That's 100% right. If there was a Sony theater out in LA that was right there,
if the Microsoft Theater was in Las Vegas, they would be like, "Well, we're not at E3 either."
Right, we're gonna go to Las Vegas.
Yeah, so
CES is our jam.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Well, that would be apropos because that's where they announced the original Xbox.
Yeah,
at CES.
Yeah. So I mean, we can definitely put money that they're going to do something around that.
They're going to do something.
They're going to be like E3. We don't know what that is, and they're going to brush their shoulder off and then say, "Nah, you really gotta this PlayStation experience." Summer 2020 is where it's at.
But listen, the whole URL, the website's up, PS5 doesn't mean anything.
There's nothing to that.
It is nothing to that. They own it. They just wanted to put up coming soon. So don't look too much into that. I don't think we'll get an announcement in February. I think if they're going to do something, they're going to do something like right before E3, like maybe in May.
May work. May work. May or June, I think. If you go any longer than that, people are going to start making decisions about next gen consoles.
I say May.
Because Microsoft is most definitely here's the proposed game lineup. Here's some Halo 6 footage. Here's the console. Here's how much it's going to cost. Microsoft's going to dump all of that stuff. And if Sony doesn't have anything, people are going to start making choices. I think they're going to be like, well, I don't know anything about the PlayStation. I'm going to go Xbox.
But you know what? You think that. But Phil Spencer doesn't think that.
Yeah.
Because Phil Spencer doesn't look at Sony and the PlayStation or even Nintendo and the Switch as competition.
Right. And if you look at that bit at face value, you go, what are you talking about? They're both in the console. They're all in the console space, the three of them. The difference is Microsoft's vision is the cloud. All right. Microsoft's vision is streaming. Microsoft's vision is the Games Pass and Project X Cloud, which is their streaming service, which competes with companies like Google and companies like Amazon, who are already in the streaming space in some way or another, some more than others. That's really where they see the future, not in console hardware sales.
Well, look what you just said, though. Mm-hmm. You said Microsoft sees that, right? This isn't an Xbox versus a PlayStation.
Microsoft owns the Xbox.
Yeah. Well, this wasn't an Xbox. He didn't say this in an Xbox conference. It was like a Microsoft event.
Yeah.
Where Microsoft is much bigger than just Xbox. Mm-hmm. All right. So Microsoft as a company is probably looking at stuff they're not looking at Sony per se as a rival, right? Because they're now sharing, Microsoft and Sony are sharing the cloud technology, right? Mm-hmm. We had that report last year where it was unbeknownst to the PlayStation team and the Xbox team that Sony and Microsoft as a company, two companies, made a deal to share the streaming technology.
They're definitely sharing some stuff. For sure. But Sony doesn't have anything they don't really have anything in the works like Project X Cloud right now.
No, they got that Gaikai technology, which I'm sure that they're sort of cross-sharing while Microsoft is sharing their technology that they've put billions of dollars in the research for it, right?
Right.
Because the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and everyone sees Google and. Well, maybe not so much Google because Stadia is doing terrible right now, but Amazon and Verizon is rumored to be in the streaming business too.
Well, they are.
They are. Streaming games.
They are. And this is what, Microsoft sees this, obviously. They put a lot of their effort into that and not into, the VR space and not into the...
handheld.
Not into the handheld, not into the, all-in-one console. This console does everything. They're kind of doubling down on their game efforts and in kind of the streaming space. And, not to say that Sony's approach is bad by any means, because they're the only one in town who does a console VR headset at a reasonable price, right? If you want to do you want to do the Valve Index or you want to do the Oculus or whatever, it's a lot of money, and that's a pretty hefty PC. So like that's part of Sony's approach. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what the statement was all about, right? It's not hardware sales. It's what is the future, and they see it as streaming in this case.
Yeah. Well, no matter what, no matter how you play the game, it's always about the games.
Well, sure.
Right? And some games, no matter what,
you gotta have good IP.
Some games are going to be, sort of exclusive, right? That's what the big thing with Stadia is. But they don't have any.
Well, they're trying to be, yeah. They're trying to get them.
But one of the best exclusives that was on the most overrated console of all time, the OG Xbox.
Most overrated console?
Yeah.
The most overrated console.
Yeah, it was overrated.
Overrated console.
Overrated.
Underrated is what you meant to say, I think. Okay.
It was underrated.
Okay.
Definitely. Well, maybe overrated by me, underrated by you.
Get out of here. It was very much rated.
It was not rated.
But go ahead.
The original Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, this game was fantastic.
Right? Mm-hmm. Everyone. I mean, that game was hard though. That game was really hard.
It was very hard. It was Batman. It was Batman hard.
Batman Dark Souls.
Kind of.
In between?
Like timing was important.
Yes, timing was definitely important.
With just like in the Batman games, if you just punch willy nilly and don't look for the opportunities, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a very good game. The gameplay was incredible. Graphics were great, and like you said, it's an Xbox or was an Xbox exclusive at the time.
Well, the original.
Yes.
Right. The original.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they ported Sigma, but Sigma.
Well, Sigma was the original. Just they added some extra stuff to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they ported the Sigma was the PlayStation series. Like that's the games that they ported to PlayStation.
Yeah, Sigma was the enhanced version of Black, which was the enhanced version of the first one. So they kept adding more and more stuff to it. But that was like a year or two later.
And then Sigma Plus were all the Vita games.
Right. Yeah. So they did that for all of them. They came out on Xbox first, and then were ported to the PlayStation, and some to the PS Vita.
Well, why are we talking about Ninja Gaiden in the first place? And that's because Team Ninja, they hear the audience, they hear the people, they know the people want this, and they know they actually want to make a new Ninja Gaiden game too.
I would be about this.
It would be what, 4? Ninja Gaiden 4, right?
It would technically be the 4th in the mainline series.
Because you got Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Sigma 2, and then you got Ninja Gaiden 2 that was on the 360, and then you got 3 that actually came out on the Wii U. I have it for the Wii U.
Yeah, there's 3, and then there was Razor's Edge, which was the enhanced version of 3, I think. They kept doing revisions on it, which is great, because it's just more Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
So there was a lot out there. So this would technically be the 4th one if you don't count Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden Z, which not so great. And it was a different type of game. It was a side-scrolling action as opposed to like the third-person ninja simulator. Yeah, I mean, I think it's about time. 2013 was the last official like Ninja Gaiden mainline version that was the upgraded version of 3.
But the third one wasn't well received at all.
Third one, I mean, they definitely got progressively worse. First one is incredible, the best. Part 2 was weird in story, but it was still kind of fun, and 3 was just kind of like all over the place. I could definitely see them doing another Ninja Gaiden game. They've been doing the other properties in that kind of universe, the Dead or Alive Volleyball, the Dead or Alive Fighting series, right? And all those kind of characters kind of cross over because Ryu's in all of them.
Well,
because why not?
Well, I think that game is like secretly in development. They just they sort of are playing with the fans to see, like, get a chance to like gauge interest. But I think they've been developing that.
I think it's going to be next gen, right?
I think it's going to be definitely next gen. But something that's coming out this gen, and we know it's coming. It's the worst kept secret. People have been screaming for this.
I said it before.
Everybody wanted the Wonderful 101 to come out, and with Platinum, they put it out. They said, listen, if you want it, crowdfunded.
Yep.
And they got over $1 million Kickstarter.
Of course.
And right after that, the Switch version got rated on the Australian Ratings Board, which tells me that the Switch version was already done.
Right.
It was going to be one of the 2 ports that we heard about.
You can't just get a rating without having a product to show, right? They have to rate the product.
And you got to pay for the rating, too.
Exactly. You know, it's definitely not free. And they have to have something to play.
Well, they did say that Nintendo said, no problem, let's put it on the Switch. But they were not going to help you put it on other platforms, obviously.
Which is where the Kickstarter
comes in.
Yeah.
So it's going to come to the Switch, it's coming to PC, and it's coming to the PS4. I would imagine if Nintendo helped them with the Switch port, they would probably say, hey, why don't you add some extra stuff to this?
Yeah. Maybe that'll get some exclusive features.
Yeah, definitely. We'll let you use Mario.
Right? He'll be a costume in the game.
He'll be a costume in the game.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
And that would be the version. Well, first of all, I think that's the version that's going to come out first. This will probably
timed
be
exclusive type thing. Yeah,
this will probably be the one time where it's coming to the Switch first.
Right, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Because it's already ready. It's already ready.
Right.
They have to port it to the PC and the PS4.
Which we all know that takes a little bit of time, right?
Yeah.
So
I like that. I mean, people wanted it. People have been saying for years, Wonderful 101.
I think it was and granted, it's not hard to be this, but still, it holds a place as I think probably the best third party game on the Wii U.
Yeah,
you know.
I can say that.
Now there wasn't a lot of third-party games on the Wii U, but
it's not a lot of third-party games when I'm playing the Amazing Spider-Man and saying that's a hidden gem on the Wii
U. Sure.
I mean, it's still an okay game if you like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Spider-Man is in that same ilk, but I don't think anybody would have been screaming to play this game on PS3 or Xbox 360.
No.
Or even,
probably not.
This game came out on everything. This came out on PS3, Xbox 360, Wii U, Vita, 3DS, the Spider-Man game.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I have it for 3DS too.
Yeah, why would it not? I mean, it was a movie tie-in. You know?
So, but after this, Platinum also sort of released sort of like a teaser, right? It was like the Platinum 4. Mm-hmm. What does the 4 stand for?
Right.
What does it stand for? They don't have any game that's like the 4th entry in a series.
Right.
Because we still didn't get Bayonetta 3.
No, even though that was announced like 2 years ago. Haven't seen anything about it just yet.
We got the Capcom 5 a couple of years ago, right?
Capcom 5 was 2002 or 3. Big initiative. 5 new games on the GameCube, and most of those turned out to end up being on other systems anyway. So that was interesting, even though it said only on GameCube on the box. I mean, it could be 4 titles if you want to include Bayonetta. If you want to include the what was the one that they announced?
Godfall?
Babylon's Fall.
Babylon's Fall.
Yeah,
I knew something was falling.
There is also a Godfall game.
Godfall is the only PS5 game announced.
Right. Which also looks amazing. But we actually got a trailer for Babylon's Fall, so we know that's like coming out. We know now the Wonderful 101, which would be the 3rd if there's a 4th game in that series, like
Astral Chain 2.
Possibly. Platinum's got a lot of games in their bundle. We do know Nier 2 is...
Well, they did say they wanted to finish that canceled Xbox game. Scalebound. They went on the record, so they would like to finish it and bring it, but it's up. Microsoft owns the IP.
Right.
So it would have to be Microsoft to give the green light on that.
I still don't know why they canceled that IP. It looks so good.
It did.
Yeah, I was very excited for that.
I was hyped. I love Platinum games. I mean, Astral Chain I thought was amazing. Mm-hmm. Still, that was one of my top 10 games of last year.
So what if it's not 4 new games? What if it's a game that has 4 protagonists in it?
What if it has 4 in it? What if it? You're right. I see where we got the synergy going. I see where you're going. 4 protagonists. It's the Fantastic Four. Platinum. There we go.
Yeah.
No? Yeah?
Well, I mean, sure.
Marvel's making sure they get top-level studios to make good games, not like the Amazing Spider-Man back in 2012.
Fantastic Four stock, to be fair, in the cinematic universe is not high. That's the only thing I'll say. I would be down for a Fantastic Four video game, 100%.
Come on, I can see it in the platinum, the platinum
It'd
style.
be great.
Yeah,
It'd be great. You know,
okay, I could see that.
plays the Thing, smashing stuff up on like next gen console.
There you go.
I would be in. I would be in.
I want to see this on the Switch. It has to come out on the Switch.
Of course, everything's got to come out on the Switch.
Everything has to come out on the Switch.
Yeah.
I mean, we got. Well,
That's
you know
the
what?
hope.
You know what? We got that. We got the Marvel character game. It's on my tip of my tongue. The third one that came out on the Switch last
Ultimate
year.
Alliance.
Ultimate Alliance. Right. We got all the exclusive Marvel
on the
game
Switch.
on the Switch. We can get Platinum's Fantastic Four. The vision for the Fantastic Four on the Switch.
That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. The more we talk about it,
The more I want it.
yeah. The more hype I'm getting.
Well,
for
okay.
sure.
The more we talk about it, the more I want it, and the more I'm convinced it's not that. It's not that at all.
We're going so far in one direction, but then no, it's probably not going to happen.
It's not going to be that. So we talked about the Platinum 4. Mm-hmm. We talked about the Capcom 5. Mm-hmm. Well, there's the Ubisoft 5. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had an investors meeting. You know how much I love those. And they said they got 5 AAA games that will be released all between now and early 2021.
Interesting.
Right. So it's like, I think their fiscal year ends at like March.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we know we got a new Assassin's Creed game coming. Right. That was sort of the worst kept rumor.
Well, there's always an Assassin's Creed game coming.
Yeah, but I think it's like a Vikings game, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I could see them going north on that.
Yeah, those are all the rumors, right? That, I mean, we've seen like, I think we've seen like a screenshot too, if I'm not mistaken. But I know there have been so many rumors, and I think Jason Schreier.
Well, that's like saying the PS4's successor is going to be the PS5.
No, I don't think
it's
so.
a no-brainer.
No, I don't think so.
The Assassin's Creed games, they're not necessarily an annual entry, but considering we didn't get one this year and we did get one the year before and it was successful, we're going to get one again.
We know we're getting Watch Dogs.
Mm-hmm. Because Legion was
supposed
pushed
to come out this month.
Right.
And it got pushed indefinitely. Indefinitely. We don't have a release date, but it's definitely, they still have it slated for 2020.
Right.
Okay. So we got that. What else?
Well, there's the Rainbow Six Quarantine.
Rainbow
which is
Six
supposed to be
Quarantine.
coming out. That's a perennial favorite
That's
among
definitely this fall.
fans. Right.
This fall.
Right.
100%. So
And
that's
then
3.
and then in terms of new IP, we have Gods and Monsters.
Gods and Monsters.
Right.
That's right. I forgot about that. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that was shown, I think, at the Game Awards last year, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. It's either that or E3, one of the two.
And then Far Cry
Right, because Far Cry is always coming
6
out.
or Far Cry 6 or spin-off.
Yeah.
No, they don't do too many spin-offs from the numbers, so we get a 6 and then 2 years after that we'll get another spin-off.
Well, we got 4 and then Primal, and then we got 5 and then New Dawn. So
it's time for a 6. They're gonna put out a 6.
It's not time for a 6.
Well, in their mind, it's time for a 6.
It's not like the out of the list of everything there, right? The Watch Dogs has probably been the most dormant, right? We got Watch Dogs 2 in 2016, maybe. So it's been like 4 years, right? Legion's obviously very far along in production. Wasn't 100% up to snuff. Or
Well,
I
you
guess,
can take over anybody,
Right.
and they have this story.
Well, I guess part of it was too is that Wildlands didn't do really well. The Ghost Recon game, and there was some other game that kind of underperformed. I think The Division also underperformed, and they said we're going to go back and we're going to go ahead and retool these games to make them better because they obviously can't take a hit, right? And I think the problem with Far Cry, that 5 and New Dawn didn't really kick the ball forward too far. It was very similar to 4 in that case, right? It's the same experience again.
Yeah.
Or it felt like the same experience to me. I don't know. So out of the 5, I would say like definitely kick Far Cry out of the bed. Like let it sit for a couple of years and then bring it back.
Well, remember when Far Cry 4 came out, we had like a couple of years between 4 and 3, and everybody was like all excited for 4,
sure.
right?
Sure.
And then we got Primal. A little bit less excitement, but it was totally different. So people kind of, gravitated to it. And it came out by itself. Like it came out like in February, January, February. 5 came out. It was okay, It's okay, but it was like, we could have had a little bit more time before we got 5.
Right.
And then we got New Dawn, which
Like
was
the next year, yeah.
the next year, and it was 5 just in the, it was like a post-apocalyptic 5.
Right, yeah. I mean, like, same engine and all that, so, I mean, it wasn't too hard to turn that game around, but just a lot of the same.
But, it's not the game that people want. People want a new Splinter Cell game.
100%. Last Splinter Cell was like 2013.
And that was also on the Wii U.
Yeah, there you go. Splinter Cell Blacklist, maybe, I think, was it?
Yeah, and that wasn't the main voice actor, too.
Right. They didn't get Michael Ironside.
Yeah, but he was sick, though. He was sick. He did confirm that, like, he would love to do it, but he was going through some health issues.
So it wasn't a Metal Gear Solid Kiefer Sutherland thing. We're going to go in a different direction. Sorry, David Hayter. This was, we couldn't get this guy, but the game still needs to be on track. We need to get someone else in the interim. So that'd be great. I love the Splinter Cell series. Yeah, there's been enough time in between them that fans could be like, yes, and I'm sure they have ideas for it. So, why not? Why not? All right. That is episode 205 in the books. Penny Arcade, or PAX, as Dan loves to call it. Penny Arcade Expo is coming up very soon. PAX 2020. It's going to be great. If you are going to be there, we will also be there all 4 days. So if you see us, come say hi. We will be walking around the show floor and checking out all the amazing games that are there. If you want to interact with us, and we know you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.